Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new triple play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a triple play bundle. Conditions apply.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta, drink the real Fruta, your favorite Fruta, the natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta, enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
This is Voices on WINN FM 98.9. It is 10 minutes past the hour of 11, and I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Today is Friday, October 22nd, 2021. Thank you guys so much for joining me today here on Voices. It's a beautiful day in Sugar City, St Kitts and Queen City, Nevis. Today we are heading across the region to Barbados with the news that the country has elected its first president, who was the sitting Governor General. Is this something that other Caribbean islands should follow? What does Barbados stand to benefit from that move? I want to get your opinion, your take on that move taken by Barbados, and that is going to form part of the discussions here on Voices for today, Friday, October 22nd, 2021. For those of you who are interested in calling in, you can call me at 466-0989, 762-0989, and 662-0989. Remember, we are live on Facebook at WINN Media SKN. You can also check out our YouTube channel at WINN Media SKN. If you have any questions, any comments, you can send us a WhatsApp at 662-2204. That is 662-2204. And of course, for those of you residing overseas, if you are in the UK, you can call us at 033-344-0065. If you are in the USA, you can call us at 718-285-6984. And if you are in Canada, you can call us at 305-921-4619. Welcome to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. Let's head straight to the phone lines. We have a caller. Caller, good morning. You are on the air.
Good morning, Cornelius.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am good, thanks.
Good. Cornelius, this move by Barbados is a brilliant step in our existence going forward. Cornelius, today, I am very happy that Barbados have taken that stand, of going forward. Now, let's bring it down to our reality today.
Okay.
Cornelius, we've been hearing through the airwaves that Caribbean tourism is dead in the water. It's been played on your station and other stations. Cornelius, we are a people who are the majority of the earth. What I'm taking from this commercial, Caribbean tourism is dead in the water, and it depends on what happened in America, Europe, and Canada as the future going forward, according to the commercial. Now, Barbados have also elected its first president, and Barbados have cut ties with the UK. Cornelius, we can fly from Barbados to Kenya. We can now fly from Jamaica to Nigeria. We are the salt of the earth, Cornelius. We are the majority, and this is why we are being targeted. Now, as for this development with Barbados, and with all that I've mentioned about the Caribbean tourism is dead in the water, let us now look to ourselves. Let us trade with ourselves, because we are the majority. We have the human resources. We have the raw materials. Let us look to ourselves. Our future depends on it. Mm-hmm. Cornelius, the colonizers knows our story. They have our blueprint. That's why they can throw things at us when it suits them. Today, it's not just the coronavirus that they're throwing at us to keep us into their narrative. They have everything on social media. Let me tell you this, Cornelius. Get off the grid. It's going to collapse.
Mm-hmm. But when you say
going to collapse.
Mm-hmm. When you say that this move ties into Caribbean tourism, what exactly do you mean?
Well, look at this is our tourist season right now. I think we have one ship in today. Now, yes, there are ships that are going to other islands. St Martin is full of cruise ships. Maybe because it's a tax-free haven. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. I would say that's because they have they've really decided to open up with the cruise tourism there, and I think they opened up way before us, and their protocols are not as stringent as ours.
Well, every island have their laws, and
right.
we and let me say this, Cornelius, our governments in the Caribbean, we have signed on to the UN, we have signed on to everything that's going to keep us plugged into their narrative. Why not sign on to the African continent? Why not? I mean, 400 years of slavery has expired, Cornelius. This is our time. The scriptures are being fulfilled. I mean, why can't we just wake up and accept and unite with ourselves? Because they know with our being divided, with we being divided, and they are the one who divided us. They know our unity will cripple their misery. That's why they're throwing things at us, Cornelius. Why can't we just unite? We are one people. And today, I want to, if I get back in, Cornelius, I want to go back to something that was said on Wednesday, because I didn't get to come in on Wednesday. But let me just say this. Today, they are telling us in the black book that we read that they have divided us. And this division started at the Babel Tower. The people were one, Cornelius. We were the people. We were one. And let me say this also, Cornelius. I am not saying that the Bible is false. I am not saying that the Bible is false. But the theology behind the image that they have given us and the theological misinterpretation that they have given us, it does not fit the image. Because, Cornelius, the image that most of us have gravitated to is the image that you and I know. And this image was taken from African story. The evidence is there, Cornelius. We just need to tap into ourselves, because everything that they have given us was taken from us. It was transposed. it was misinterpreted and it being packaged to us, and we have galloped it hook, line, and sinker. We need to know ourselves, Cornelius, because we are the salt of the earth. I am not saying that the Bible is false, Cornelius. I am asking our people to wake up and look behind the word, because once again, the theology of the image does not fit the reality of our existence today. They crucified Christ, and they are killing us today. And we are the one who worshiping the Christ they have given us more than them. Why is that? Because they know our story, and what they have given us, it's nothing but fallacy and lies. Some of your caller on Wednesday stated certain things, Cornelius. One mentioned about the knowledge of self, and one mentioned what have we learned from our ancestors. Are we willing to learn that our ancestors were slaves and they were sold by our kings? That, again, is a fallacy. It's a lie being propagated by the colonizers by telling us that our ancestors sold us as to why we are in this geographical space. Cornelius, what they did to us was murdered. Our ancestors was murdered and captured and brought them to this place to build their world. Our ancestors built America, Europe. What they met on the continent of Africa, they destroyed, and they exploit, and they're still doing it today, Cornelius.
Right.
Let us unite with ourselves and build for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for hearing me.
And thank you, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking calls. If I can quickly provide more context on the move made by Barbados. So they have elected their first president, shedding the colonial past. And the person that was elected as the president was the sitting governor general. So Barbados has elected its first president to replace Britain's Queen Elizabeth as head of state in a decisive step toward shedding the Caribbean islands' colonial past. Sandra Mason was elected late on Wednesday by a 2/3 vote of a joint session of the country's House of Assembly and Senate, a milestone the government said in a statement on its road to republic. A former British colony that gained independence back in 1966, the nation of just less than 300,000 had long maintained ties with the British monarchy. But calls for full sovereignty and homegrown leadership have risen in recent years. Mason, who is 72 years old, will be sworn in on November 30th, the country's 55th anniversary of independence from Britain. A former jurist who has been Governor General of the island since 2018, she was also the first woman to serve on the Barbados Court of Appeals. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley called the election of a president a seminal moment in the country's journey. We have just elected from among us a woman who is uniquely and passionately Barbadian, does not pretend to be anything else, and reflects the values of who we are, Motley said after Mason's election. Wazim Mola of the Atlantic Council think tank told Reuters the election could benefit Barbados both at home and abroad. It says the move makes Barbados, a small developing country, a more legitimate player in global politics, Mola said, but could also serve as a unifying and nationalistic move that may benefit its current leadership at home. Other Caribbean leaders and citizens will likely praise the move, but I don't expect others to follow suit, Mola said. This move will always be considered only if it is in the best interest of each country. Motley said the country's decision to become a republic was not a condemnation of its British past. I want to get your comments, your feedback on this. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989, 762 and 662. You can also send us a comment at 662-2204, 662-2204. Now, many people have seen this move as one that is rather significant, and this they see it as a step forward for Barbados and the people of Barbados, the government of Barbados, and many, but some people did not see this coming to fruition, but the people decided that this is something that they want to do, and so they met and they confirmed this on Wednesday. And now begs the question if this is something that should happen or may be happening or will happen in the future. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Devon.
Good morning.
How do you feel about you becoming the first president?
It's a proud moment.
Now you're talking to the radio. Hey, you're born here, right? All you have to do is just equip yourself. Now, it's quite interesting. And, some of us are so tied to the old colonial ways, which doesn't really profit us anything. Because we get little or no aid from Britain. Do you know we pay the wages for the Governor General here?
Yes.
I mean, we feed him, we clothe, we feed him, we clothe him, we transport him, we take care of the garden and the grounds and everything. Now, if somebody else, if the Queen was paying for it, and you couldn't afford to keep it, but you have nothing to lose. That's the point, you know. The only thing we have to lose is that there are some people who want all the Queen honors. You know, there are some people who rank MB and OBE above our national awards.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you hear
I'm hearing some feedback.
It, you know, Devon Cornelius OBE.
Caller, I'm hearing some feedback. Is your radio on?
In another room.
Yeah, perhaps you can turn it off.
You get some feedback?
Yeah.
You want me to call back?
Yes.
I'll call back.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was getting some terrible feedback. You can call us back at 466-0989. Yes, becoming the first president. Okay, let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Cornelius.
Yes, caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
You might have thought that Jamaica would consider a move like this, seeing the way that Jamaicans are being treated in the UK. But I'll tell you something, Cornelius. This move, it's the gateway of what is inevitable. It's happening, Cornelius. It's the gateway of things to come. And these things to come is for our benefit. Cornelius, decades ago, you and I, and those who may have wanted to, or who would want to, go to the continent of Africa, we would have had to gone to Europe, because the picture that they have painted of the continent was of stricken with poverty. Yes, poverty is there. But this poverty that is there is by design. And again, Cornelius, our history was hidden from us. We were broken from our culture, our education, our tradition, and our spirituality. It was done by design. And I would go back, and Mr. Good morning to Mrs. Henry. I would go back to Lord Macaulay's letter to the British Parliament in 1835. This move by Barbados, Trinidad have broken away, Guyana, years before, and I think there's another Caribbean island. we need to look to our future. When I said I'm talking about St Kitts and Nevis and other Caribbean islands, because if Caribbean tourism is dead in the water, Africa have the human resources, and it also has all the raw materials that was placed on the continent of Africa by the Most High. Our culture, our spirituality was taken away from us by those who have colonized us. And Cornelius, it is not just the image that they place in the book or the image that we have. A lot of them have, you go in a church, you see a white image. It's not just alone that was colonized. They have colonized a God in their image and give us. Let us start to look beyond what our ancestors had before Lord Macaulay broke us from our spirituality. Let us look, let us go back to that and find ourselves. Because before all of that, we never had a prison, there was not a beggar, there was not a thief, and this was there from generation to generation until they made the observation. And yes, it could have been before with the Arab slave trade, because one of your callers last week mentioned Mansa Musa. Let us know who Mansa Musa was. Our history are there, Cornelius. They today have our blueprint. They are trying it us. They're trying what they have inserted themselves into our history. They're trying it at us in entertainment and in movies because they have our blueprint. Let us know ourselves, Cornelius. The knowledge of self and uniting with ourselves will cripple their misery that they place upon us. Thank you for hearing me.
And thank you, God, so much for your contribution to this program. We're still taking calls here on Voices. If we have no calls, we will take a short break to say, okay, we have a caller, so let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Cornelius.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Topic is, you did show out the topic.
Yes, we're talking about the election of a president in Barbados.
Okay.
Barbados has elected its first president.
Is it official or it's supposed to be official in December?
In November. It'll be sworn in November.
And the president would be the former Governor
General, yeah.
Thank you. We're seeing what we are calling for, echoing our sentiments throughout the Caribbean, and more so in St Kitts and Nevis, because we have had, 4 national heroes, all males, and here is it in Barbados. For the first time, their first female Prime Minister, named Motley. Not quite sure if there is the first Governor General, a female, but it seems these are things that come to the fore that, yes, in the changing of the guard in terms of our balance, in terms of our masculinity and our femininity, new ideas could become to the fore. Who would have thought that Barbados? But don't underestimate none of us, be it Barbados, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Tobago. Why I say so? Because it would depend on what leadership would be, dispense leadership at whatever cycle in terms of our political spheres. And it would be like where the interest lies in terms of, we can see, it's no doubt, the Pan-Africanism that is echoing from not just Mayor Motley, David Commission, you can see it, but not only that, Professor Hilary Beckles, who has spearheaded, the reparations committee and the like. So we can see that it's echoing. One would say, yes, okay, Jamaica, because Jamaica has shown leadership throughout the Caribbean for quite a while. But it still comes down to who leader. Does that leader presently now in Jamaica have that fortitude to really go about it? Is he Pan-African in mind? There is a movie, I think his name is Joseph, which a collaboration with Barbadians, Jamaicans, and Ghana. So we're putting all of this into the equation and saying, like, There are windows. Ghana, Barbados, Kenya. There are windows that have been opened because we always get the notion that, wow, why does it take such a long time to get to the continent? No, it's because you have to go all the way to London or Amsterdam or Paris and to fly over 8-9 hours. It is not that long. And so we are bridging all those gaps across the Atlantic to really reach there. Not only flying there, other avenues has opened up in terms of economic collaboration. What do you have here? What do we have over there? And so forth. So yes, we can stay here, like Donald Trump said. My friends went to Africa and got wealthy. We can do likewise by setting up shops over there and replicating them over here. The businesses here can launch over there because it's a Africa Free Trade now. It gives you that space. So it's not just the West Coast where most of our ancestors came from, but we can go to the East Coast also. So that's my take, really, even though it is based on Barbados for now, with their independence and the like. It's all about an all-encompassing togetherness. I always made the point and say, we need a big brother. And that big brother is the encompassing Africa, Caribbean collaboration, togetherness in doing things, and to make our economy more feasible and make it work for all of us. Whether we want to stay here or to go there, that is our prerogative to do. Thanks for listening.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. We'll take this short break to say thank you to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices here on WINN FM 98.9. Let's take this short break.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new triple play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a triple play bundle. Conditions apply.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta, drink the real Fruta, your favorite real Fruta, the natural taste is Fruta, Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. We're heading back to the phone lines. It is 11:37 here in the studios of WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host, Devon Cornelius. Let's head back to the phone lines. Carla, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning again. Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Are they ready turned off? Good morning, Journey, and good morning, Africa. Now, they want to stop on one set of colonialism to another set, you know. We must now be under the colonialism of Africa. You know, I did some research, because whenever they speak, I look up my information. And when they started, they wanted to have the United States of Africa. And most of the African countries say no. They want to maintain their sovereignty, and that is why you have 54 nations in Africa. Nobody wants nobody over them. They all have their own president. They have their own, I don't even know they're a prime minister. But they make their own decisions. We can have relations with them. and it is a good thing. I was talking to Mr. Brantley about deepening the relationship, not just good enough to make it easier for people to travel to Africa, which of course boils down to those with the citizenship by investment passport. You know, so while we're talking about Africa, we got to get real. As I said last week, Africa is in turmoil. Turmoil. There are many countries in Africa that are a little bit more stable. But the Boko Haram and the Muslims creating havoc. You know? And so, back to St. Kitts. Size is no problem. Now, they had an election for the president, which I think was a good idea. Was it done in the House or what? How was the election done? In the House?
Yes.
All right. At least they were mature enough. Both political parties were mature enough to know that what they were voting for was their country. Because some of us think that we name opposition, we must oppose, we name government, we must support. No objectivity. And you got to give them credit. They're late because there are many, you know, when you refer to Barbados as Little Britain, that's an insult, you know. They now are differentiating themselves that this is our country. This is not a part of Britain. So to move from there, to go and say, well, oh, you know, we can't think, we ain't going to join anybody. You can have bilateral relations, or as they have begun to do. And the issue about Jamaicans, so it was Britain who forced them into the Federation. So you put them in, they took themselves out. You understand? That's why it fell apart, you know. It wasn't something that they all wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So for Africa, my friend, I do appreciate your love for Africa. All of us should love Africa, but we must first love ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Do you think a move like that is necessary here?
A move to do what?
To
the president?
have
Yes.
a president?
Yes, it engenders pride, you know. Now, you know, in Jamaica, even though they have the Governor General, they swear. They don't swear to no queen and nothing. You could start there on the way, start there. You don't think so? It's an insult to our people. They neither feeding, clothing us, nor nothing. When we were dependent on them, they make sure they kept us in subservience. Now that we are looking after ourselves, because you could check the estimates and see how much grants and aid we get. Minuscule. I'm sure Cuba give us more, and Venezuela give us more than Britain does. So the young people would feel better about themselves when you make an oath to the Queen and her heirs and successors. Then you're not for us really, you know. You actually working for the Queen. Mm-hmm. You ever see it, sir?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I have, and
Yeah,
many people are of the opinion as well.
I'm sure some of the leaders are of the opinion too, but you know, we love this tradition. It's tradition, but let's break tradition. Start like Jamaica when you're going to swear to anybody. You swear to the state of St. Christopher and Nevis, its people. And then you move, because for example, we have a Governor General, right? He's a fairly decent man. Who would object? Let me change the question. Would the opposition object to having him serve also as the president? Would they put him up for the vote? Would they contest it? And it would be in the interest of both political parties or group of parties to try and find somebody who is neutral. Because there are people in this country who are neutral, you know. We just say everybody belongs to a party. That's not true. You may speak, but that doesn't mean that you support everything the party does. But you speak with objectivity. So, the quicker the better. all of the OECS countries, but Dominica has a president, and Dominica is poor compared to a lot of the OECS countries. If they could have a president, what about us? The next election, I want it on the ballot. Put it on the ballot. That's a good place to start, You don't think so?
Mm-hmm. I think it's something that we can explore and, of course, get feedback from people in St Kitts and Nevis.
When they got elections, there's a whole lot of things on the ballot, Not like about Palm and Labour, UPP and CPP and all kind of people. Put it on the ballot. You put up the names. They could mention the names that they propose. And in the election, 2025 around the corner, we vote. So you even give the people a chance to vote. Because later on you're going to hear, well, it's the party choose it and not me. And I must congratulate the female. Let me get to the female. I think Antigua's had a female governor, but not a president. Have we ever had a female president in the Caribbean?
I'm not sure.
Huh?
I'm not sure.
Well, somebody answer. That's a good move, because the opposition, now I hear one of them on the opposition side now, after they don't vote, making all kind of political moves. Time enough, we learn to respect ourselves. We have to learn to respect ourselves. And another thing again, let me ask the question for all those who are saying that anybody should be able to become the Prime Minister. Would you want a Prime Minister who was not born here? Would you want a Prime Minister who has no connection by blood to the country? Because remember, the Constitution gives people who can trace back to their grandparents. Would you want anybody who has no connection by birth, ancestral connection to the Federation, to be your president? We got to get this thing sorted out, because I hear one former politician, tossing around the idea that if people live here and they live here for long, they must be able to become the Prime Minister. Well, those were in the days of Mr. Bratty and Southwell, As we go along, we develop pride. We develop, they want to go in the house, they go in the house, but they cannot become our Prime Minister. So I want somebody to answer. And Africa, we love Africa. We will not be subject to nobody. African nation don't want it. They got the AU. They're still unwilling until today to give up their sovereignty and form the United States of Africa. So why are you asking us to go under somebody? All right then.
Right, thank you, Carla, so much for your contribution. We'll take this break to say thank you to our sponsors. When we come back, we'll begin wrapping up voices here on WINN FM 98.9.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dishes done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. I don't want a dirty sink. Keep pumping up with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
Triple the joy at home as you elevate your experience with Flo's new Triple Play bundles. For the first time ever, bundle up and save on internet, TV, and home phone together for more satisfaction. For as low as $175, enjoy up to 35 megabits per second super fast internet, 70 TV channels with HD entertainment, and free landline minutes with the all-in bundle. Visit your nearest Flo store to sign up for a Triple Play bundle. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Mr. Cornelius, I'm back. Let me agree with Mrs. Henry on putting what we think about moving away from the Queen, her heirs and successors on the ballot. So we have two things to be put on the ballot. One is having a female being the next heroine of St Kitts and Nevis, and also the moving away from the Queen, her heirs and successors. So we the general public, gonna continue to agitate from now until we get it done. But I beg to differ with Mrs. Henry, because at no time throughout my contribution, you can go back as far as you can think that I ever implicate or indicate that we in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean should see ourselves as having an African state being a colonial power. For us, predominantly us in the Caribbean, we came out of many different what we call African countries today, ethnicities. And so, I think it's misinformation to say that I ever indicated or seen that. I say that in terms of collaboration, economic and otherwise, there are partnerships to be derived, just like how we have partnership with other nations, for example. And we never see ourselves as Taiwan being our colonial leaders. If we move away from England, we see Taiwan as the next colonial power. We never think about that. Likewise, there are African countries that are governed in their own way. The onus is on us to say, well, okay, for instance, the visa issue is one. In the future, even if it starts now, and I'm not agreeing with it, that me, should have a visa to go to any one of those African countries. And I have gone beyond the presidents of those countries. I've gone to the indigenous, the real custodians, the real owners of the land, the kings and queens of Africa. And we have pleaded our case to them that in no way, I have a natural identification to identify me with that space. So, a visa, that applies to a foreign person. Even though I am out here, I do not see myself as a foreigner to the continent of Africa. And so we don't do these things. We also seen that being the 6 regions, it's not yet fully signed off on, but being the 6 regions, we will have certain rights and privileges that we are entitled to. And so it's never no time I have said that we've seen Kenya or Ghana or Nigeria, for instance, as another colonial power. So when we relinquish this colonial one, we have another colonial power. I think that type of information coming to the fore, you're sending a wrong indication, and you're a lady of influence. I respect you much. So please, you owe yourself and our people an apology, I think, for such statements. Thanks for listening.
And thank you, caller, for your contribution to this program. We're still taking calls here on Voices on WINN FM 98.9. It is just about 6 minutes before the hour of 12, and the conversation is centered around the election of a president in Barbados. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again, Cornelius.
Good morning.
Cornelius.
Turn on your radio.
Sorry. We have American, we have Europeans, we have Russians, we have Chinese, we have Indians. They're all living here in the Caribbean. Do they see themselves as Kittitians, Nevisians, Antiguan, Barbadian, and all of that? No. America have, I think, 52 states, and they can travel. Americans can travel within America without a visa. Cornelius, a gateway has been opened up unto us. We can be Kittitian, we can invest in the continent of Africa with all the raw materials that it has and still live here in St. Kitts. We can go back and forth. That's the window that has been opened up unto us. This move by Barbados now need to link with Trinidad, Guyana, and all the other Caribbean islands need to come on board with this because it's our future. And this that is happening today, Cornelius, it is inevitable. The Most High is at work because, as the scripture says, in the last days I will gather up my people who were scattered back to the land of their forefathers. That is talking to you and me, Cornelius. Now, for those, we are not comparing anyone to go to the continent of Africa. Now, Mrs. Henry mentioned that the African leaders do not want the unity because of the African Union. We know what is the African Union today, the AU. It is a weak organization, no doubt. But that was organized by the designers who want to maintain the continent to be in that state. Now, for Mrs. Henry, I want you to take note and jot down this. It is OUR, that's OUR, or ADDI.org. And you research it, Mrs. Henry, and anyone else who is listening. Or ADDI.org. And you would see what BBC, CNN, and even the puppet presidents that we have on the continent who have signed on to the UN will not be showing you. Mrs. Henry, or ADDI.org. And you research that. And you tell me, Cornelius, just before Mrs. Angela Merkel stepped down, a couple of years ago, Mrs. Merkel said that she's going to set up funds on the continent of Africa for young entrepreneurs. She was referring to young Germans living on the continent. Okay? So if young Germans can now go into the continent of Africa and invest, you think they're going to be investing for Africans? The system cannot continue the way it is. We need to wake up, Cornelius. Our birthright awaits us. It is there. It is ours.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want us to go there. They want us to see what they're showing us. And the presidents that Mrs. Henry mentioned that does not want to unite, I am calling for us to unite. Unity. Because with our unity, we will cripple their misery. Our unity will cripple their misery because they are the one who divided us. They divided us for their survival. It cannot continue. If we know the scriptures, Cornelius, it is being fulfilled. You and I are fulfilling scriptures every day. But we have to wake up to our birthright because they tell us that we sold our birthright in the Esau and Jacob story so that they can exploit what is yours and mine. They've been doing this for decades. For decades they've been doing this. And all that they have given us in the black book that we are reading, it is their narrative. They have inserted themselves into you and my ancestor story, our story. The theology of the image again, Cornelius, does not fit the reality. They kneel down and draw Floyd's neck. They went in a church and they killed 9 people, and we have forgave them. We even went and asked for a hug. I mean, what is wrong with us, Cornelius? Let us unite. Our unity will cripple their misery. We don't have any shots to fire because we have no military power. We have no military defense. Let our unity cripple the misery that they have placed upon us today. Thank you for hearing me.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution. This is the end of the first segment of Voices. It is 12 o'clock, and so we're going to pause for the headline news. And when we come back, we're going to continue Voices here on WINN FM 98.9. Very interesting conversation that we're having here today. The conversation is centered around the recent election of a president in Barbados. Let us break for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices here on WINN FM 98.9. I've been your host, Devon Cornelius. Stay tuned to WINN FM 98.9.
You found the sound. 98.9. WINN FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs. And make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the WINN FM News, I am Devon Cornelius, making the headlines.
Police confirm investigations into house fire.
Police in Grenada are giving more details on the bank robbery.
Superintendent Cromwell Henry is confirming the death of a female, possibly in her 20s, following reports of a house fire that occurred in close proximity to the old sugar factory on Thursday, October 21st. Police and fire personnel responded to the scene sometime after 5 p.m. and rescued a male occupant who is now in critical condition. The senior cop dismissed allegations that a child was in the house and confirmed that, quote, the child is safe and was with neighbors when the police arrived, end quote. Details surrounding the death of the young lady are sketchy, but reports suggest foul play. Investigations into the matter are ongoing.
Grenada police have determined that the Tobago robbers stole $36,000 from the Grenada Cooperative Bank during a raid on the bank on Monday. But our correspondent in Carriacou, Rod Patterson, said they still have not recovered the money.
What we are learning as of today is that some $36,000 was stolen from the bank at Monday's robbery of the Coop Bank in Hillsborough, Carriacou. We are learning that, of course, it compiled that of $150, $20, $10, and $5 notes. From all reports that we are receiving at the moment is that the members of the Coast Guard Department saw a couple of the notes floating while on the chase to the pirogue that carried the 5 Tobagonians who were on the way to Tobago just to the southeast of Carriacou. But from reports that the objective at the time was to, of course, apprehend the men and not, of course, pick up the monies that they saw floating. So that's the latest update that we are getting at the moment. We also understand that, of course, the money came from 3 of the tellers at the bank, and that took place just after 1 o'clock on Monday. Footage has also shown, I spoke to the officer in charge, and he made the point that they would be looking to twin that with what happened back on the 11th of October 2019, when the GT Credit Union was robbed.
The Electoral College in Trinidad and Tobago, which comprises all members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, on Thursday rejected a motion filed by opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bisesar for the appointment of a tribunal to investigate the removal of President Paula May Weeks from office. Prasad Bisesar's motion was in relation to events that led to the collapse of the Police Service Commission last month and the failure to send a merit list of candidates for a Commissioner of Police to the House for consideration. At the end of the college's meeting, Speaker Bridget Anisette George said the opposition fell short of the 2/3 majority needed to approve the motion. Meanwhile, at a press conference immediately after the vote, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley strongly condemned the behavior of opposition members, describing it as nothing short of disgraceful and reprehensible. He said the behavior of some of the opposition members have disgraced the country.
Another day of protest in Port-au-Prince. Protesters set up roadblocks across the city, burning tires and other debris to prevent the free flow of traffic. While protests in recent days have remained peaceful, tensions are clearly on the rise. Demonstrators called for the resignation of the country's national police chief, Léon Charles. Many claim Haiti's security forces have allowed violent crime and kidnappings to reach unprecedented levels.
There are a lot of tourists that come to Haiti to help people. They come to evangelize, and under the direction of Léon Charles, they get kidnapped because Léon Charles doesn't have the capacity and leadership to direct the police department. Léon Charles has to resign.
With the current insecurity, Americans and Canadians are not spared from the kidnappers. It doesn't matter which country you come from, you cannot live a normal life in Haiti.
By Thursday afternoon, Haiti's national police chief resigned from his post, a sign perhaps of the fast-changing strategies by Haitian authorities working in close collaboration with U.S. federal agents as they seek to secure the release of the 17 hostages. Tensions are high in the country following the release of a social media video posted by 400 Mogrozo, the criminal gang responsible for the abduction of 16 American citizens and 1 Canadian. In the video, the gang's leader vowed retaliation after authorities shot and killed at least 1 member of the gang on Wednesday. Protests and roadblocks have become a daily occurrence here in Port-au-Prince, but the anger from demonstrators has grown beyond the worsening security situation. They're calling for accountability over widespread fuel shortages, higher prices on communication services, and a lack of leadership from government officials. The case of the 17 hostages has brought international attention to what some are calling a kidnapping crisis. More than 100 kidnappings have taken place so far this month, and more than 700 since the start of the year. And a recent report by UNICEF says there were significantly more abductions of women and children in the first 8 months of 2021 than in all of last year. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
No nominations from the floor will be entertained at the Free National Movement's upcoming convention. This according to a memo dated October 19th from the convention committee revealing that the committee exercising its constitutional authority has decided not to accept nominations after November 18th. Tonight, Deputy Party Leader and committee member Peter Turnquest is on the defense, and in an interview with Eyewitness News, he makes clear that the decision was made with transparency in mind.
It's a matter of being transparent, and that is basically to have everybody have an equal opportunity to access delegates and for the ballot to be prepared and everything to work in order on the day of the election.
This decision, however, is raising eyebrows. Could it be an attempt to restrict former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis from once again running for party leader, who in a sit-down with Eyewitness News said he has no plans to offer himself, but when asked if he would consider if nominated from the floor, he could not give a direct answer.
And if your name is presented at the convention to be party leader again, do you think that you would accept?
I can't answer that at this. I don't know what the party.
Are you interested?
My interest right now is to be involved in building the Free National Movement, ensure that we are a machine that's ready to take over.
In response, Turnquest assures that this is not the case.
I don't know that he said that he would accept from the floor and run. I haven't heard that. But again, this does not preclude anybody from being nominated. We're just trying to have an orderly process.
The memo also revealing that candidates must be nominated by at least 2 members of the party, and that a certified list of candidates will be published on November 18th ahead of the convention. Turnquest says it's all in an attempt to have an orderly process.
Anyone who wants to run will have an opportunity at that time to put their names in or have their names put in under the proper procedures outlined, and they would have basically a period of time which they can then have access to all of the delegates, and the delegates would have access to them.
So far, only Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis has officially entered the race. The FNM's special convention for party leader is set for November 27th. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Auckland is the economic centre of New Zealand, but for more than 2 months it's been largely at a standstill, following New Zealand's first outbreak of the Delta variant of COVID-19. Keeping it locked down much longer is unsustainable, and the government has responded to growing calls for a plan to get back to normal.
We cannot ask vaccinated people to stay home forever, so now we need a new playbook to reflect a population protected from COVID.
The Prime Minister announced a traffic light system will be introduced with different alert levels to manage outbreaks of the virus, using fewer restrictions and no more nationwide lockdowns. It signals an end to the elimination strategy and an acknowledgement that New Zealanders will need to learn to live with the virus, provided the vaccination rate reaches 90%. The arrival of the Delta variant in New Zealand changed everything and has proved impossible to eliminate. But it did force the government and the public to speed up vaccinations. 86% have now had at least 1 dose, but getting to that key figure of 90% may take some time. The government says it will review the situation at the end of November, which may be too far away for those wanting a quicker end to COVID lockdowns. Australia's second largest city has reopened, despite new infections continuing to rise. Melbourne has spent a cumulative 262 days locked down since the start of the pandemic, more than any other in the world.
Like being sort of separated from what I do for so long, it's super nice to be back today. And it's a sunny day, so it's like perfect.
Its 6th and probably last lockdown was lifted as the vaccination rate passed 70%. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Tauranga, New Zealand.
That was the WINN FM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs. And make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Found the sound 98.9 WINN FM.
September is the month of heroes in St Kitts and Nevis. And for the months of September to October, Bosphorus Automotive wants you to be a hero too. Yes! Drive like a hero at the massive Bosphorus Automotive Be a Hero sales event. Go to Horsford's Automotive today and drive away like a hero with up to $35,000 discount on select models. Your choice of either free gas for 3 months or up to $1,000 in free groceries. Pay just 10% VAT VAT. Yo, just 10% VAT. Free servicing for 1 year. Free bill of sale. Free registration, licensing, and tinting. Zero down payment. That's right. Absolutely zero down payment. And much, much more. Drive away like a hero from Horsford's Be a Hero sales event. The biggest, most heroic sales event ever in the Federation. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
It's happening again. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Yep, we're doing it again. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances is once again giving away double cash back for free groceries for the months of September to December. Every customer at the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances showroom in St Kitts and Nevis gets double cash back coupons for absolutely free groceries. But it doesn't stop there. Every higher purchase customer will also get a chance to win. Yep, get double cash back for free groceries and a chance to win absolutely free groceries for a year with every $100 spent on higher purchase. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Double cash back for free groceries, plus a chance to win free groceries for a year. Come to Horseman's Furniture and Appliances today and expect low prices, expect great quality, expect free delivery, expect double cash back for free groceries, expect a chance to win free groceries for a year, expect the extraordinary terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. It is 12:21 in the studios of WINN FM. Today is Friday, October 22nd, 2021, and I am your host for today's edition of Voices, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are just tuning in, earlier we were discussing Barbados' election of a president. They have elected their first president, replacing Queen Elizabeth as the head of state. And the person that was elected as the president was the sitting governor general. And they will be made official or sworn in late November. I want to continue this conversation with you, and so we're going to open up the phone lines and we're going to keep the conversation going just to hear your feedback and what you think about this. You can also send us a WhatsApp message at 662-2204. Remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, and how are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thanks. What about you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Okay. In terms of the topic of discussion with Barbados and it becoming a republic, well, I will not contribute to that one. Because I have already, well, okay, let me leave it at that. I won't contribute to that. You know, I have exhausted topics like that and the outcomes of what most likely would happen to Barbados. But let me say something based on what based on what was mentioned before the news break, and this is the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, yes, our politicians pledge allegiance to the Queen, her heirs, and successors. But I think it was, I think it is my elder sister who made mention about the politicians should now pledge allegiance to the country. And she said, she used the name St. Christopher. Well, Mr. Cornelius, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I have traveled outside of the Caribbean. And when I would enter in to these other countries, and They will ask, well, where are you from? And I will say, well, St Kitts, Nevis.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at immigration. You know, they make it their duty to tell me St. Christopher. They don't acknowledge
St. Kitts. Oh, wow.
All right? St. Christopher. Okay? No, that always makes me feel away. But I say nothing because I understand where they're coming from. So I use this to say this. If our politicians are going to pledge allegiance to our country and you're going to say St. Christopher, what they will be doing still is to pledge allegiance to the Queen, her heirs, and successor. Now, when our politicians pledge allegiance to the Queen, you know, it goes without saying that all of us know who the Queen is. But the name is never mentioned, but we know who she is. But the name is never mentioned. But if you're now going to have politicians to pledge allegiance to St. Christopher, the country, that is even worse than pledging allegiance to a queen. Right? To a queen without the name being mentioned. So, this is another hurdle that they will have to get around, because if they're going to pledge allegiance to this country, St. Christopher has to go. Otherwise, no difference will be made. There will be no difference. You will still be pledging allegiance and giving your allegiance to the Queen, her heirs, and successors. I stay here, Cornelius.
Carla, thank you so much for your contribution. Very thought-provoking, but thank you so much for your contribution. Very interesting conversation we're having here this afternoon. The phone lines are open, and I am taking your calls, and I'm going to give each and every one of you the opportunity to share your views on this move by Barbados. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, good afternoon. I am totally at loss. I am way out at sea with respect to the argument just advanced by the learned lady. How are we pledging allegiance to Her Majesty or His Majesty by declaring that we pledge allegiance to the Federation of St Kitts and Nevis, or St Christopher and Nevis for that matter? She has to explain that. How does that translate into pledging allegiance to Her Majesty if we change the current oath to say we pledge allegiance to the Federation, the state of St Kitts and Nevis? And don't forget, the motto is country above self. And I don't understand why she would argue that pledging allegiance to the country is worse than pledging allegiance to an individual. The individuals come and go. Individuals may be honorable or dishonorable. Individuals may be wise or foolish. The country remains. And I certainly am in favor of, even without becoming a republic, changing the oath as it stands to read, I pledge allegiance proudly, without compunction, to the Federation or the state of St. Kitts or St. Christopher and Nevis. But I'd like the lady to explain that particular line of argument. Thank you.
Thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. We're still taking calls here on WINN FM 98.9. The phone lines are open. The numbers are 466-0989-762 and 662. You can call us right now. Give us your take on the decision made by the Barbados to have a president to replace Queen Elizabeth as the head of state. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, Cornelius. You know, I'm sure the lady is quite capable of defending herself, but I just want to say that we are not arguing. I don't think we are arguing. We are expressing our views, and, you know, we just have to listen and see what makes sense to us. We are not arguing, because our people have to be reached. A lot of things was hidden from us, Cornelius. And like I always said, we are not in the era of knowledge. We are in the era of truth, and the truth is what's going to set us free. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution. We're still taking calls here on Voices. Remember, we're live on Facebook at WINN Media SKN. You can also catch us on YouTube at WINN Media SKN. You can send us a comment at 662-2204. That's 662-2204. It is 30 minutes past the hour, and we're heading back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm back again. Mr. Cornelius, you're listening?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yes, I am going to reiterate my example. When I go outside of this Caribbean region and I go into other countries that are governed by Europeans or Caucasians, when my passport is shown to them, even though it has the Federation of St Kitts and Nevis, they might ask, where you're from? I said, St Kitts and Nevis. They do not accept or recognize St Kitts and Nevis. They make it a point to tell me it is St. Christopher and Nevis. What I am saying is this. They recognize, quote unquote, the official name for this country that we are living in as St. Christopher. All right? That is what they recognize. Now, our politicians, they get in all sorts of agreements and so on with these people over there. You might think a name means nothing. It is very important. They will never recognize a name for our politicians to pledge allegiance called St. Kitts and Nevis. I hope you're listening and understanding. All right?
Mm-hmm. So you're speaking really towards the name, St. Christopher and St. Kitts.
Yes, the name.
Okay.
Right? The name officially, St. Christopher is the name that is given. Mm-hmm. That is what is accepted. Right? So, if our politicians go, let's say then, all right, they want to make changes and they want to pledge allegiance, we will have to wait and see what name they use, if they're going to say the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, or they're going to say St. Christopher. If this is St. Kitts and Nevis, we will see how this will be accepted and dealt with by those on the outside. They are keeping their name and their people and their culture, everything about them alive. They are fixating this in our minds still. When we say St. Christopher, it seems to us like it's just a name, but it means a lot more to them because it is showing them that they're still in, what should I say, they are still in control. Even though they are not here, they're still in control of these lands. We are acknowledging that by saying St. Christopher. That's what I'm saying, caller. When we became independent, not only the square or the mountain should have been changed in terms of the name. The name St. Christopher should have been changed also. So if our politicians are going to pledge allegiance, it is St. Christopher they're going to say. And as long as they say St. Christopher, they are still, and I will reiterate, they are still pledging allegiance to the Queen, her heirs, and successors. The Queen of England, St. Christopher, the King of France, whomsoever, Isabella of Spain, and all of them, they are all the same people. They are the same genetic traits. They are the same people. Different countries, but they are the same. So yes, my dear, don't you sit down and you thought it through yourself. Don't take what I say. You're going to say you pledge allegiance to St. Christopher. You'll still be pledging allegiance to the Queen, her heirs, and successors. All right? You understand, Mr. Cornelius?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm listening to you.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution. We're still taking calls here on Voices on WINN FM 98.9. I noticed there were some people trying to get in. Okay, we have this caller on the line. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I must confess that I don't know the details of the presidential election or appointment. I'm not sure. In Barbados?
Election.
Election. But do you know the details of how the president was selected or is to be selected going forward? I know this time around it took 2/3 of parliament, I think.
Yes, they did. They had a parliament-like sitting. I don't think it was in the actual parliament. They used a different venue. But both members of government and opposition, by a 2/3 of a joint session, they voted for, her name is Sandra Mason, to become the president.
Right.
And then she will be sworn in. I'm not sure the exact date, but it is late November.
Well, the thing is, though, the current party, having won by a landslide, I think that was a foregone conclusion, wasn't it? So that's why I was wondering what happens going forward. How long is the appointment?
Okay.
What if the parliament was split down the middle, almost down the middle?
Mm-hmm.
It still requires 2/3. How do you know how it's going to be done?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. All of that details have not been provided, but that's something I can definitely look into.
Yeah, because you see, and what are the constitutional powers really of the president?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be just a figurehead?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be another concentration of power within the ruling elite? I think most of the constitutions in the region are in need of drastic change to limit or devolve power so that it is spread rather than concentrated. In too many instances, I think the organs or personnel that are involved in checks and balances for the abuse of power are themselves compromised by the fact that the appointments are at the pleasure of those wielding the power. Okay? So, for instance, maybe future Governor General, not Governor Generals, presidents may be made by ballot as opposed to parliamentary, parliament meeting and deciding on that. Okay? Because you see, when you look at positions like the Governor General here, magistrates, registrar, Speaker of the House, Attorney General, Director of Public Prosecutions, Commissioner of Police, the Integrity Commission, the Public Service Commission, all these are very important organizations and positions that are supposed to make sure that the government is accountable, right? But all of them are pretty much at the mercy of the executive. And that inevitably leads to a form of semi-dictatorship where the citizen is powerless to remove any of these organs if they're not working until the next 5 years. Okay, well, not without a lot of pain and suffering anyway. We speak frequently of citizens having the ability to recall, but we just speak about it, we just talk about it. I don't think we're really serious about it. Okay? I think our systems need to have more citizen participation, not just every 5 years. And so just like in North America where certain positions like sheriff and maybe state attorney generals, etc., are on the ballot, they have to go out and campaign and say why they should be sheriff or why they should be attorney general. Okay? Well, so too should top officials be on the ballot down here. And they are directly accountable to the people not to any politician, okay? Not to the women fancy of any group of politicians. So it is in this context that I view the presidential election in Barbados. I hope that many other countries in the region would follow suit because, I mean, the obvious reasons behind, or rather the reasons behind going to a presidential or a republic, essentially, those are obvious. You know, you need to get rid of the last vestiges of colonialism and imperialism. High time, okay? But quite apart from that, okay, I think we need symbols at that level need to be our symbols that reflect our values and our principles, but not that of another country, okay? And right now, for instance, where we have a governor general who essentially is subservient to the Queen, if the Queen wishes to, she can intervene legally, it would seem. I mean, it doesn't happen, but if push came to shove and she wanted to, our laws and our Constitution apparently give her the right to. And, you know, that is an untenable position to be in 2021, you know, for an independent country, all right, a sovereign country. And I think it was you who asked Mr. Brantley about moves in that direction as well, was it? At a press conference? Was it you?
No, perhaps another journalist.
It might have been, what's his name? Bjorn, Hanley, is his name,
yes,
I think?
Hanley.
Yeah, okay. And he basically dismissed it as basically saying, well, nobody seemed to be clamoring for it. Well, yes, I know a lot of our politicians around here are all about retail politics, and their concentration is on getting reelected, maintaining power, not so much on leadership for a country, a modern country. They're not looking 10, 20 years down the road. They look at the next 5 years, right? And unfortunately, Mr. Brantley is one of those politicians. So he dismissed this as, well, nobody seemed interested in this, instead of trying to galvanize some kind of support for this, because it's obviously something that is the next step forward for us as an independent sovereign nation. You know, so hopefully it will become on the front burner. Obviously, we're distracted right now. COVID, the local politics, etc. But I hope at some time in the not too distant future that these things will be more on the front burner. Things like this and the CCJ, you know, those sorts of things. You know, more citizen participation is what we need, not less. We had enough of this concentration of power, and it needs some devolution there to make sure that it's not abused, because the tendency by the type of politicians that we have is to abuse that power. Okay then.
Thank you, Carter, so much for your contribution here on Voices. Very interesting discussion we're having this afternoon. I want to hear your feedback, and then later I'll give mine on this whole thing. For those of you who are just tuning in, it's on the election of a president in Barbados. The first person, Sandra Mason, who will be sworn in come next month as the country's first president. We're heading back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, Mr. Forget the name again, boy. Yeah. Anyhow, we're looking about, talking about concentration of power. You don't think if you cut away from England, is more concentration here? A tyrant come in and he feel like the place is his. He does what he like. What do you think?
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. You said if we cut away from England, you're focusing more on St Kitts. Well, yeah, you cut away from Britain, you focus on St Kitts. Our politicians are able to be committed to the people. I think the concern or the issue over the years has been that whenever we have these ceremonies to swear in government and swearing in parliamentarians, they are swearing allegiance to the Queen. And many people I have heard express that they prefer to hear they're swearing allegiance to the people of St Kitts and Nevis instead of swearing allegiance to the Queen. I saw some comments here on our Facebook link, so I'll share these comments with you. Remember, we're live on YouTube as well at WINNMedia SKN.com. So there's a comment that says, hold on, let me. So a comment is saying essentially that this is a good move by Barbados, and this is something that other Caribbean islands should follow. And of course, yeah, Barbados will be the first to have a female president. Okay, yes, Sandra Mason, of course, is a female. And it seems, based on these comments, many people are in support of the move taken by Barbados. We have a caller on the line, so we'll head back to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Good afternoon. Turn on your radio. I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah, I can tell it off. My name.
Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Okay, yeah, we seem to have lost that caller. You can call us back at 466-0989. The numbers are 466-0989, 762 and 662-2204 for our WhatsApp number. 662-2204 for the WhatsApp number. We're still taking calls here on Voices on WINN FM 98.9. If you have no calls at this time, okay, let's take this last call, and after that we'll take a break. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mr. Cornelius, good afternoon.
Yes.
All for that, here. Mr. Cornelius, I hear a lot of people celebrating with Barbados about going to be a republic, and they're going to have their own people that run Barbados. Do all of us know that Barbados is owned by Britain, and no matter what republic they go or where they go, the country still belongs to Britain?
How do you know that?
You didn't know that?
No, I'm asking, how do you know that?
How do I know that?
Mm-hmm.
Barbados belongs to Britain. St Kitts belongs to Britain. All the Caribbean islands belongs to Britain.
Yes, but
no matter where we go as saying that we are republic or wherever, it still remains that Britain will be in control of the countries. Britain fight for them. They belongs to Britain.
No, that is.
I mean, I cannot understand why people don't understand that even your republic, the country is not yours. No part of St. Kitts belongs to any Kittitian. The countries belongs to England. They're owned by England. What we have to say we own a country? Nothing we have to stand up.
So
Barbados might say they're paying allegiance to some women.
Okay, caller, we seem to have lost that caller. That is not true. Barbados is replacing Queen Elizabeth as its head of state. So now Barbados will be in full control of what happens in Barbados. So that is far from the truth. It's a I don't even know what to describe it as, but it's a thinking or a belief that we have that yes, even though you're independent, we don't have any say in our country, and Britain is still very much in charge of all that we do here, which is not the case. This is definitely not the case. But what Barbados has done is that they have removed the Queen as the head of state, and the head of state is now somebody who's from Barbados, who grew up and was molded by Barbadians. Let's take this break to say thank you to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue this program.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WINN FM.
Run to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store now and get a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. By popular demand, Cashback is back, but this time Cashback is back with more quality appliances, more great prices and fantastic deals, more of Hosford's fabulous FlexPay payment plan, and more free groceries. A whole year of free groceries. Come to Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store today and get absolutely free groceries with every higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year. Great deals on furniture and appliances. Get cash back for free groceries with FlexPay higher purchase and a chance to win free groceries for 1 year with every $500 spent. All great reasons to shop at Hosford's Furniture and Appliances in Ashley Furniture Home Store this coupon season. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to Voices on WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius, and we are winding down. It is actually 5 minutes before the hour of 1 here in our studios. A very interesting conversation we are having this afternoon. So, in essence, to sum it up, Barbados has removed Queen Elizabeth as the head of state. And this is not something that is new or should come as a shocker, as according to this article from BBC, this has been talked about many times, and they said that the time has come to fully leave our colonial past behind. This is what was said in a speech by the government. It aims to complete the process in time for the 55th anniversary of the independence from Britain in November 2021. And a speech written by Prime Minister Mia Mottley said Barbadians wanted a Barbadian head of state. This is the ultimate statement of confidence in who we are and what we are capable of achieving, the speech said. Buckingham Palace said that it was a matter for the government and people of Barbados. A source at Buckingham Palace said that the idea was not out of the blue and has been mooted and publicly talked about many times. So the statement was part of the throne speech, which was given in 2018, which outlines the government's policies and programs ahead of the new session of Parliament. So this is not something that is new. It has been talked about many times in Barbados, and I'm pretty certain that there are other countries that are perhaps having internal talks of doing something like this. It's not a crazy move. It's not a bizarre move. I think there will be much to benefit from us doing this. The people of Barbados, the government and people of Barbados, felt that this is something that they wanted to do, and they have done so. The process has commenced, and according to this article, it will be completed just in time for the celebration of their 55th anniversary. We want to head back to the phone lines to get some more of your feedback on this move, and do you think this is something that is possible in St Kitts and Nevis? Do you think we stand to benefit or lose? Something that was pointed out by the caller previously was that with regards to our Governor General, or Deputy Governor General, but Governor General, which represents the Queen as the head of state, that caller pointed out that we are responsible for maintaining the office of the Governor General. And so while that person is there, while the post of Governor General is there, which is representing the head of state, the Queen, we are the ones, basically upkeeping and maintaining that office. Perhaps that was to say that if that is the case, then that responsibility should be on the head of state. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? And so they are of the opinion that we stand to lose nothing if we take a similar approach. I can say that it is a proud feeling and a proud moment for the people of Barbados, as we have long had this conversation of, we ain't independent, so why are we celebrating Independence Day? Not speaking too much on that, but for people who are in Barbados, perhaps I would say that they're going to see the true meaning of celebrating Independence Day. And so they're now rejoicing that the person who is the head of state is not somebody from here or there, but a Barbadian, somebody who was born in Barbados, somebody who has been shaped and molded by the people of Barbados. It is exactly 1 o'clock here in the studios of WINN FM 98.9. We're going to wrap up this discussion at 1:30. But we want to take some more calls. We want to get some more comments from you. And so we're going to head back to the phone lines. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, Mr. Cornelius, I wanted to get your opinion on, well, a caller previous mention about concentration of power.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am asking if taking the decision to be ruled here directly by yourself, isn't that more concentration of power?
But what do you mean specifically? I'm not clear, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they were saying that, well, I don't think he just means from an institutional situation where he's saying that sometimes one person has all this say, so there's too much of concentration on that particular person. Now, to me, it's an oxymoron if you're going to say, well, there's too much of concentration already on one person, and now you're taking, well, I am not against, let me say it earlier, I'm not against going from Britain, but to me, then you're making the concentration more pronounced. You understand what I'm saying? You catch what I'm saying? If you're separating from England and would have all the power here then from here in Bastia, Nevis, Charlestown, then the concentration become more pronounced. You don't agree?
And you think?
I just want to hear this discussion then.
Okay, and you think that will be disadvantageous to us?
Yeah, there are some persons who go into government and feel like who lead the country and feel like the country is theirs. And just act like a tyrant. Yeah, I'm telling you frankly, well, that is the thing. As a matter of fact, the shenanigans that went on here maybe about 10 years ago with boundaries and all kind of things. So that is a classical example. And you're not accusing nobody again, but that is already history.
Right.
Yeah, it's already history that has proven thing if you want for the situation with the Privy Council coming in and deciding, well, whatever was done was hastily done and one-sided. It was not, let me say, given enough aid here. It was not aid enough. I could understand, well, you see what the situation would have been. So then the concentration of power is still even more pronounced here. You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah,
well, let me hear the discussion. Let me hear some of the discussion. But personally, I'll tell you the truth. I don't hear to hear it that we making allegiance to the Queen, actually. To be honest.
Okay.
I mean, I personally feel to, about maybe about 25, 30 years ago, I used to listen to BBC very regularly. As a matter of fact, home I will just listen to BBC, and my radio would be on BBC. Well, BBC would have closed on a lot of their stations overseas and so on, maybe for cost sake. And there was a big upheaval in England about people who had gone through sixth form, cannot get a job, and the Queen for her whole lifetime, well, the family on a whole, just because of the particular family, they're saying she is the richest person in the world. And without doing a stroke of work, I used to listen, I'm telling you about it. And BBC, listening BBC directly, not no relaying on a station, BBC. And they were the school students were saying that they passed the A-levels in sixth form and cannot get a job. But the Queen and her whole family, her father and all grandfather, the whole generation, would have been in this position just because of the family, and everything is applied to them. As a matter of fact, at that time I got the impression that even when the Queen would have gotten whatever is allotted to her, whether you call it a salary or stipend or whatever, that just goes to accumulate in an account. She doesn't even have to think for her. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe just from my understanding, that in Buckingham Palace, everything is supplied by government, and not necessarily by the direction of, well, it might have been originally by the direction of those in power. Not those in power, sorry, whoever controls the kingdom. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
So I'm saying, that, and I was surprised. I am surprised in recent time. I didn't hear much more of that because, no doubt the 6 farmers in England were at that time was thinking about the same situation that one person, one family, all these years, hundreds of years, as a matter of fact, is just in control and accumulating funds that could have been used otherwise. So we are even help to redistribute the funds. You understand? Let another family who might have done something very historical, outstanding. Let the family be another family be thing, but not just that particular family all these years.
Right. If I can get your comment, before you go, there's another comment that came in on the Facebook Live that says they have inherited the wealth on the backs and debts of our foreparents or our forefathers. What is your take on that?
Well, to be honest, that's history as well. Yeah. Well, to be honest, the whole of Europe. But personally, I'm telling you the truth. I don't take it as a racial thing. To me, that was the thing at the time. Those who had the power, if you got some guns and where it happened. Let me say, I could even say it happened locally. A man got a gun, he feel like he could just come in your place and just hold you up and go with what he wants. You understand what I'm saying? That was the era when power allows you to just do as you like. But now you might have more of a... You might be like George Bush used to say. How you say it? I used to like how George Bush used to say it. You have more collaboration and so on, or more discussion to avoid war. You avoid, just going into a man's place and throwing down bombs and so on. I think the elder Bush used a term that I had like very much. I can't get it to me right now, but when you look at it, that to me that was the era of history. Now, what we must do with history, go turn back the whole hand and everything and say, and they do this and they do that. It's Spain, France, all of them. Spain, France, England, and Holland, all those were in control of, 2/3, maybe more than that, maybe about 3/4 of the whole population and land space that was occupied at the time.
Okay, Carl, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 7 minutes past the hour of 1, and we're still taking calls here on WINN FM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989. Now, what the caller was saying is that before I comment on that, let's head back to the phone lines quickly. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, Cornelius. For your last caller, right? We have to know of our past in order to remedy the future. We have to hold them accountable. They know of the atrocity, they know of the genocide. Cornelius, what they have converted us to, and I'm basing this on Christianity. Everything that they have taken away from us, they have inserted themselves into. Because we are living to their narrative. But our story is there. They have copied everything. And the intention was to leave no evidence. That's why they have destroyed. They have destroyed our temples. They have our blueprints at their fingertips. I mean, okay, we are not like them. Our hearts are different to theirs. Like I said before, Cornelius, they are the antithesis of us in every way. They have destroyed. Everywhere they go on this earth, they have caused destruction. If they wasn't around, would we be praying for peace today? We wouldn't have been praying for peace. Cornelius, what they're giving us in the book, all that they have tell us, thou shalt not. All the thou shalt not that is in the book is in Christianity. Our spirituality was, I will not. Check out the 42 laws of Mahat. That's M-A-A-T. This is our history that they gave us, and they gave us the 10 Commandments telling us thou shalt not, and then everything that they have they told us thou shalt not in the book, they have done to us. So yes, let us rub it in their face. They should be told. Let us rub it in the face. We cannot do it enough. We don't hate them because they are the hated ones. They have hatred in them. We don't have that. We have love and compassion. That's why they have penetrated us and they have conquered us and they broke us from our spirituality. So that caller who is saying, should we go back? We have to know our past and we have to know what they have done to us and hold them accountable. Because to today, Cornelius, they have set up system where they are robbing our banks. And I'm referring to the continent of Africa. They're exploiting our minerals and they have created generational wealth for themselves and their unborn children. So let us rub it in their face. They should be held accountable for what they have done to us. Thank you for hearing me.
And thank you, caller, for your contribution. It's 10 past the hour. And the phone is just open. We are still taking your calls here. Now, the caller was saying that, okay, if St Kitts and Nevis is to have a Kittish or a Division or a head of state in Bastia or Charlestown, they're of the opinion that it may be too much power in the country. And there are policies, mechanisms, the things that you can put in place to prevent that. Now, I would disagree. Because that is not going to be a situation where the head of state is going to have the final say or all the say and everything is going to be left up to them. It's not going to be a situation where they're going to be, have full responsibility or full charge of all things that happen here in St Kitts and Nevis. And so it's not just to bring a head of state to bring a head of state and to give them all the power and to make sure that, this person is in charge and they have the final say. I don't think that is the case. I don't think that will be the case for what is happening or has happened, rather, in Barbados. I think things are going to be put in place. The specifics have not been provided as yet as it relates to Barbados. Right now, as it is, the person has been elected and they're going to have the swearing-in ceremony. But we will be following closely to get information on the term, how long will they serve, what can they do from what they can't do. But that was a very good question, thought-provoking question as well. We want to give a shout-out to our sponsors. Let's do that quickly, and when we come back, we'll take some more calls here on Voices on WINN FM 98.9.
Found the sound 98.9.
It's happening again. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Yep, we're doing it again. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances is once again giving away double cashback for free groceries for the months of September to December. Every customer at the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances showroom in St Kitts and Nevis gets double cashback coupons for absolutely free groceries. But it doesn't stop there. Every higher purchase customer will also get a chance to win. Yep, get double cashback for free groceries and a chance to win absolutely free groceries for a year with every $100 spent on higher purchase. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Double cashback for free groceries, plus a chance to win free groceries for a year. Come to Horseman's Furniture and Appliances today and expect low prices, expect great quality, expect free delivery, expect double cashback for free groceries, expect a chance to win free groceries for a year, expect the extraordinary terms and conditions apply.
back with Voices here on WINN FM 98.9. It is 17 minutes past the hour of 1 and we're winding down. You probably tuned in late and so you perhaps missed a part of the discussion, but we entertained a conversation on the election of a president in Barbados. Let me just use this opportunity to thank you for adding to this discussion, giving your feedback, your take on it. Many people see it as a significant move, especially Barbadians. It says many Barbadians have long agitated to remove the Queen's status, and with it, the lingering symbolic presence of imperialism over its governance. Multiple leaders this century have proposed that the country become a republic, and it says that will finally happen on November 30th, the country's 55th anniversary of independence from Britain, when Sandra Mason will be sworn in. So she will be sworn in on November 30th of this year. A former jurist who has been the Governor General of the island since 2018. Just to note that she was the first woman to serve on the Barbados Court of Appeals. Very, very proud moment for the people. Several countries dropped the Queen as head of state in the years after they gained independence. And that makes Barbados the first country in nearly 3 decades. Okay, the first country in 3 decades. So Barbados is the first country in 3 decades to drop the monarch. The Queen is still the head of state in more than a dozen other countries that were formerly under British rule, including Jamaica, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Wazim Mola of the Atlantic Council think tank told Reuters the election could benefit Barbados both at home and abroad. It says the move makes Barbados, a small developing country, a more legitimate player in global politics, Mola said, but could also serve as a unifying and nationalistic move that may benefit its current leadership at home. Other Caribbean leaders and their citizens will likely praise the move, which we are seeing, as many people have praised that move. But I don't expect others to follow suit, Molas added. This move will always be considered only if it is in the best interest of each country. And Motley said the country's decision, just to repeat this, the country's decision to become a republic was not a condemnation of its British past. So it is not that they're, putting that behind or condemning it, but the government, the people felt that it was time to have somebody who is a Barbadian to be the head of state. And as I've said, it is a defining moment, a proud moment for the people, a proud moment for Sandra Mason, of course, becoming the first person and first female to hold that position, to be appointed the first president of Barbados. And we are going to be monitoring closely and, of course, looking at the Caribbean islands to see if this is something that they would follow. I think there was a caller that stressed that you may not see this in every Caribbean country because, of course, people would want to hold on to their tradition and hold on to their colonial beliefs and, believe that this is the way that we have been doing it for the past 50, 100 years, and this is what should continue. So while you may have people that will be considering it and may be in support of it, a caller is of the opinion that us wanting to be traditional may hinder that process from even coming to fruition or even starting in here in St Kitts and Nevis and in other Caribbean islands. The questions that have been raised, what does this mean for Barbados? What does this mean for Britain? What are the specifics of the appointment? These are things that we will be paying close attention to over the next few days. We have a caller on the line, so we're going to head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Mr. Cornelius, I'm back. Can you recall St. Vincent and the Grenadines had an election maybe in the same vein?
No, I honestly can't recall.
Anyone that are listening, they can. St. Vincent and the Grenadines had an election. Was it towards moving away from the Queen or something of that sort? But anyway, I want to base on a certain trend that has happened in terms of our independence and how far and between one island gained independence when the other one gained that independence. How was it being arranged? Was it arranged in England before so that these countries gained their independence? I know that earlier countries like Barbados, Jamaica, and Trinidad, maybe Guyana got theirs early, around the 50s and the 60s. But we, in the smaller islands, the Leeward and Windward Islands, like maybe St. Vincent got theirs in 79. I think Belize got theirs in 81. We got ours in 83. And within 5 years, you could have seen some islands got their independence. So that was history. We're not saying it will happen the same way in terms of from independence to moving away from the Queen, her heirs and successors. And also, what to weigh in the equation is like, should the masses of the people put it to the test, whereas it would be the two-thirds, or should the parliamentarians, because I think there are two ways of doing it, where the parliamentarians, what would the parliamentarians feel the sentiments of the people and say, well, let's put it to the test, whatever legislation they will have to enact to go to a vote. It would be rife for us now because we would have the sitting government would have the two-thirds. I would want to think so, as opposed to not quite sure in this places. Barbados has said that an opposition parliamentarian was to chime in and cast the vote with the government to get that two-thirds. And so these are things that are part of it. But as someone said about Premier Mark Brantley, you would test the people, because if the people is not showing that sentiment, then it would not give the parliamentarians the urge, the quest to put it to the parliament. So we are speaking. If I can judge from the callers that called in before, I think that we could say that we have a majority of the callers that called in, with one exception. I think one individual saw it on a different vein, but most of the callers' sentiment was towards it. Thanks for listening.
And thank you, caller, so much for your contribution to this program. It is 1:26. We're going to begin wrapping up this discussion very shortly. Let me say thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you for your contribution to this program. This has been Voices on WINN FM 98.9. Thank you so much for your participation. We're coming back tomorrow with Inside the News. So hoping to see you tomorrow at 11. Thank you so much for your participation. For those of you who tuned in late, of course, the conversation was centered around Barbados's move to elect a president as the head of state. Barbados' move to elect a president as the head of state. Well, apart from, if I may wrap up quickly, apart from that happening, so many other things happened throughout the week. And of course, we'll be diving into these topics very soon. Very, very soon. And of course, to get your opinion on that. So, this has been Voices on WINN FM 98.9. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a safe one. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands. Do what you have to do to keep safe. I note that the numbers for COVID-19 are trending downwards. That is very good news. And we're hoping that the situation can get under control. But please do your part in ensuring that the virus is managed here in St Kitts and Nevis. This has been Voices, and I've been your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Until next time, stay safe. Hope to hear from you soon.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
Dreaming of a great career or degree? The Caribbean Examinations Council offers regionally and internationally recognized qualifications to help you get there. These include the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, CCSLC, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, and the CX